How to pay cash at a car dealership, and believe me when I say you have to play your cards right if you want to be a cash buyer. There's definitely a right way and a wrong way to pay cash. Hi everyone, I'm Kevin Hunter, known online for the last 15 years by car buyers as the Homework Guy. In this show, we're picking up a subject we've talked about a lot over the years, and today we're diving into how to pay cash at a car dealership without you getting burned. You heard that right. You can actually get burned paying with cash. The interesting thing to us is that quite a few people who wonder, who's got money to buy cars with cash anyways these days? Well, it's more than you'd think. So to help you cash buyers out there, today we're diving into a topic that's always in demand. You see, a few years back, we released a video titled, Don't Say I'm Paying Cash, and it hit over 8 million views. Clearly, you all care about getting the best deal when paying cash. So today, we're revisiting this subject with some updated information and strategies and a step-by-step guide for cash buyers. To help me present why you shouldn't say, I'm paying cash right away, I'll be joined by the amazing Elizabeth.
It makes me feel a bit nostalgic to revisit the cash buyer topic. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of paying cash, let's refresh why it's a bad idea to announce I'm paying cash too early in the car buying process. First, dealers love financing. Dealerships make a big chunk of their profits through financing deals. That includes kickbacks from banks and upselling you on extra products like extended warranties, gap insurance, and much more. Second, cash buyers lose negotiating power. When you announce you're paying cash, you remove a key profit stream for the dealer. They may stop offering discounts or incentives because they know that they won't make up any of that money on what's known as the back end.
So, when should you reveal you're paying cash? After you've locked in the price of the car. First, negotiate as if you're open to financing. It's perfectly okay to say things like, I'd like to know what I'll be paying before I discuss financing details. Once you've nailed down a deal, you have it all in writing and you're sitting in finance, now it's time to let them know you'll be paying with cash. But there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. So let's set that up first with a role play example. All right, Elizabeth, we've got your vehicle's final price locked in at $28,000. Let's talk now about financing options. We have some great rates right now. With $3,000 down, your monthly payment would be just $425 over 60 months.
Thanks, and I appreciate your consideration, but I'm planning to handle this a bit differently. Before we dive into financing, I just want to confirm that the $28,000 price includes all taxes, fees, and extra forced add-ons, correct?
Yes, $28,000 is the total price out the door. So, about the financing.
Well, I appreciate you bringing that up, but I've decided to pay for the car up front without taking out a loan. I'll be covering this with a combination of a cashier's check that I have with me, $4,000 in cash, and a debit card payment.
Oh, okay. Well, are you sure you don't want to consider some form of financing? We have very low APR offers right now that could help keep your cash on hand for emergency purposes.
Well, I understand, and I really appreciate your offer. And while it's likely to be a great option for some buyers, it's just not for me. I've planned ahead for this purchase, so I won't be tying up all of my cash to make this purchase, and paying up front is what works best for me. I'd like to move forward with settling the payment with the cash route as efficiently as possible.
All right, no problem. Just so you're aware, there may be some additional forms that we'll need to fill out for cash transactions, especially if that totals over $10,000.
Okay, thanks for the reminder. I'll be putting $5,000 toward the purchase on my debit card and $4,000 in cash I have with me to keep it under that threshold, and the rest will be covered by the cashier's check. Will that work for you?
Yes, I guess that's fine. Let me finalize the paperwork here, and we'll get your payment processed.
Sounds great. I'll review everything carefully before signing just to make sure all the details are correct.
I'll be very mindful of that.
You see, you don't have to be mean to get it done, and it always helps to be direct and just lead the conversation. Once you can tell the finance officer is following your lead, you just plow to the finish line.
Next, let's talk about what paying cash really means. Let me begin by clearing up a common misconception. Paying cash doesn't have to mean showing up with a suitcase full of dollar bills. In fact, carrying large amounts of cash with you is risky, but you can also trigger unnecessary government scrutiny. Take IRS Form 8300, for example. Any business receiving over $10,000 in physical cash is required to report the transaction to the IRS. This is to monitor tax evasion and illegal activities. Also, multiple transactions count. Even if you split payments across multiple cars or time frames, The total cash spent at a single dealership over a year still triggers reporting.
And that's why we recommend keeping your cash payment under 10 grand. Actually, 9,000 is a good cash number to aim for. Who wants to be the subject of a totally unnecessary investigation? Well, nobody.
Nobody.
So there are smarter ways to pay cash than bringing actual cash. We'll cover that next right after this message on our hassle-free car buying service.
Hello, folks. Time for a short break, but I do hope you're enjoying the show. Kevin Hunter, the Homework Guy here, and I have a question for you. How many times have you dreaded going to a car dealership because you knew you'd face the high-pressure sales tactics we're always talking about, or you're worried about being charged hidden fees and being forced into buying ridiculous dealer add-ons? Enough is enough, right? I don't blame you if you're sick and tired of car dealership nonsense. That's why, after being repeatedly asked, how can we get you guys to help us directly, we launched the only totally hassle-free car buying service available online, and we are way out in front of the industry with the leading return on investment average. We're on a mission to put you back in the driver's seat without the headache. This time, no gimmicks, no games, just honest, straightforward car buying. Besides what Liz and I do on camera here, our team of coaches fight for you inside the dealership. You should know that part of the reason our coaches have a negotiation advantage over you is that they have no emotional attachment to the vehicle you want, and they only negotiate on OTD car prices. You get to skip the added costs of unnecessary extras like fabric protection and the joke known as nitrogen-filled tires and VIN etching, to name a few. And we do negotiate the lowest possible OTD price, so nobody ever has to overpay. If a dealer does demand these products beyond the contract, we subtract the cost off the top price. With our hassle-free car buying service, you'll get totally transparent OTD pricing and all of it in writing. Car buying will actually be fun and stress-free again, just like it was for many viewers who went this route ahead of you. So, never be a victim of a car dealer's head game again and win this time. Visit us online at thehomeworkguy.com and click on Hassle-Free Car Buying Service, found on the pull-down menu in the upper right-hand corner of the home page. If you have any difficulties, text Liz at 701-441-3399 and ask her to hook you up. Now, let's go out and get you a vehicle you want, this time on your terms, hassle-free. Because having one of our professional car coaches negotiate for you is the best way to execute perfectly on your next car deal. There's only one of two things you can say about using our hassle-free car buying service. You'll either be glad you did, or you'll wish you had. For your sake, be glad you did, and contact us today. Now, back to the show. People might wonder, how do you pay cash without all of it being actual real currency? Here are several good options. Number one, personal or business checks. These are straightforward and widely accepted. Dealers can quickly verify your funds, making it an easy way for you to pay. Number two, cashier's checks or certified check. Issued by your bank, these are secure and ideal for large transactions. Just confirm the exact amount with the dealership before requesting the check, or approximate it based on your advanced homework like Liz did in the role play. And then thirdly, money orders. While accepted, money orders are typically limited, making them impractical for larger purchases like a car. The maximum amount per money order is $1,000. With a given car deal, that would be several money orders, and when you exceed $3,000 in money orders in a single day, you may be required to complete additional forms and present identification because of concerns over money laundering. And then fourth, a debit card. You can use a debit card for a large purchase, but you'll need to notify your bank beforehand to temporarily lift your spending limit to accommodate a larger transaction. Number five, wire transfers and bank drafts. These methods aren't as common, but work well for high-value transactions. Check with your dealership beforehand to see if they accept them.
So what about physical cash? If you prefer to pay with physical cash, here are some tips. Keep it under $9,000. This helps avoid triggering IRS Form 8300. Stay safe. Transporting large sums of money can make you a target, so be discreet and secure when you're carrying that much cash.
Yeah, not in a brown lunch sack.
Yeah.
Remember, while physical cash may feel like a straightforward purchase, it's not always the best option. Many dealers prefer checks or wire transfers because they're easier to process, and quite frankly, it can make those guys a little nervous counting up your money.
I declined this option in the role play, but here's why financing can still be a smart move for cash buyers. Here's a simple hack for cash buyers who want to avoid any chance of triggering Form 8300. Finance the car at the time of purchase. Here's how it works. Put down the $9,000 in cash, then finance the rest. Once your financing is processed and you receive your payment booklet, pay off the loan in full. Write one check when you get your payment book and boom. It's the same as a cash deal with just a few pennies in interest expense. And here's why it's smart. Financing avoids large cash transactions that attract attention, and some dealerships may even offer additional incentives for financing. Just make sure you finance for more than 61 months so there are no prepayment penalties. Federal regulations prohibit prepayment penalties on loans over 61 months. Without raising any suspicions, you can ask for a loan term of 62 or 66 months, which are both common numbers.
The key here is to carefully review your contract to ensure no unnecessary add-ons or fees sneak their way into the deal. Decline everything you don't need and double-check the numbers before signing anything. Now, let's talk about how to negotiate effectively as a cash buyer. Here's the strategy. Number 1, start with the price of the car. Focus solely on the vehicle price during negotiations. Don't let the salesperson distract you with financing or monthly payments. Number 2, avoid mentioning cash until the end. Once you've secured a solid price, then only when you're in finance, as we demonstrated earlier, should you reveal that you're paying cash. And third, be prepared to walk away. If the dealer pushes back or refuses to negotiate further, be ready to leave. There are always other dealerships out there willing to work with you.
Here are red flags for cash buyers. Watch out for these warning signs when paying cash. First, mandatory add-ons. Dealers may try to force extras like warranties or service packages, claiming they're required for cash deals, and they're not.
It's illegal.
Fee padding. Ensure that documentation fees, registration, and taxes are itemized. Dealers sometimes lump these together to inflate the total cost. Refusal to accept checks. While rare, some dealers may claim they can only take physical cash. This is a tactic to control the transaction, so don't fall for that one.
If you encounter any of these tactics, don't hesitate to walk out. There are plenty of honest dealers out there. So some final thoughts on paying cash? Paying cash for a car can save you money and simplify the buying process, but it's important to do it the right way by using smart payment methods, staying under the IRS reporting threshold, and negotiating effectively. You can avoid common pitfalls and get the best deal possible.
And remember, just because you're a cash buyer doesn't mean you have to let the dealership control the process. Knowledge is power. Use it to your advantage.
If you found this video helpful, give us a big thumbs up, share it with your friends, and leave a comment down below. Let us know about your experiences as a cash buyer, both good or bad. We love hearing your stories, and it helps the Homework Guy community.
The Homework Guy team is always here to represent you, the car buyer. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
I'm Kevin Hunter, the Homework Guy, signing off on behalf of the amazing Elizabeth and the entire Homework Guy team. You guys rock. Thanks for listening.